Welcome to the Pathways to Prosperity podcast, where we explore personal, professional, and financial success stories of top achievers. Let's dive in.
Hello, and welcome to Pathways to Prosperity for Entrepreneurs, the podcast where we celebrate visionaries turning their passion into impactful ventures. I'm Terrence Shabillion, and today we are here with Nika Roback. She is with Replenish Financial Solutions. How are you doing today, Nika?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Hey, Nika, can you give us a quick snapshot of your business right now?
Okay, yes. So I've been in real estate investing since 2018. I had a huge design and construction background, so I kind of came in through flipping first, a little bit of development, and I have a short-term rental as well. But I kind of fell into, I should turn this off. Do you want to start over? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. They'll edit it.
Oh, you'll edit. Okay. But along the way, I learned to work with investors because we always had investors come and help us with our projects. So then I started working with a family office that was building resorts around the world. So the past few years, I've been in investor relations for them, and now I'm a fund manager for a social impact investing firm that has really incredible returns too. You can reach out to me if you'd like to learn more about that. But so as I was doing that and helping people to put their money to work, I also learned a lot about tax strategies and how to structure, so I can also add value to my clients with that extra financial consulting as well. So as I learned the strategies, I also then shared them with my clients to implement as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. That's the same thing that we do. We try to share with our clients, what we're learning and, the things that we're going through and implementing. One of the things that always kind of tickled me, especially with financial advisors, is that most of them, A, aren't doing what they're saying, and B, it was always interesting to me to hear people tell me what to do, but they didn't have the fruit on the tree. So I love dealing with people that, have the fruit on the tree or participating in these things, and that, it's happening for them. So I can greatly appreciate that. There's a lot of competition in this space, as I can attest to.
Right.
What sets you apart, and maybe what comes easy to you that others find challenging?
Well, I guess for the time that with the family office, I really liked the way that they had it structured. And I think that kind of set me apart for our offering, was they had it structured with debt and it was collateralized. So the risk was really, really mitigated for the investors. So I did appreciate that. Plus, it's always nice when it's a huge, like this latest project is with Ritz-Carlton. I mean, the pizzazz of that, and everyone wanted to be part of kind of a big, exciting project. So that was helpful. And then now moving into working with this new firm, it has a social impact. So I do enjoy that, and that kind of sets it apart. A lot of people, especially when they reach a certain wealth, then it's not just about what returns, it's about what can they give back, how can they help society at large. So our new fund helps veterans and first responders. So,
Well, awesome. Thank you for that. Veterans are definitely a subject close to my heart, so I definitely appreciate that, and something we definitely like to give back to ourselves. Hey, Nika, one of the questions that I want to follow up on, especially for us people in this industry, it's very easy to use terms that the average person may not understand. I think everybody understands debt. But you mentioned debt and collateralization. Could
yes.
you maybe just give us a quick breakdown of what that means for the average person?
Okay. I apologize. I know I'm guilty of doing that a lot. So that's one of the reasons why I like real estate investing versus the stock market, although there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody should be diversified, I guess, in many different things. And I'd like to kind of back up and say that's why I don't consider myself to be a financial advisor. I'm more of a consultant to my fellow real estate investors.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I love real estate investing, because you do have that hard asset. It's
Hmm.
that is the collateral. So
Okay.
you can touch it, you can feel it. It doesn't go away overnight. There could be multiple exit strategies should something happen or go wrong. You can kind of pivot and still be able to make a profit from it, even if you had to kind of change what
Hmm.
versus what you originally were planning on doing. So I like
Yep.
that about real estate, and real estate investing. So uh, what debt is, so a lot of times if you own it, and you put the money or you buy real estate, then you have equity. So that's what you have. You have the equity, you own it. Maybe a bunch of people go in together and they own it. That's the equity. The debt would most likely, when people think of debt, they think of, oh, the loan, like your mortgage, like that, the loan to the bank, right?
Ma'am.
So, how they structured with theirs was that there wasn't another loan. They owned the land, so they had the equity. And then they were planning to build, which they were going to have to get a construction loan. But then when they brought people in to work with them, they became their lenders. So instead of going to a normal bank, then you became the bank as an investor by lending them the money. So so you were in a debt uh position, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, a little known thing about that, you're actually in a higher position if you're in debt. That does get paid off
Hmm.
first. And people don't
Yes,
realize
ma'am.
syndications are equity, and a lot of times, you're not in the best position because the loan is going to get paid off first. So that's what I liked, that they had everyone in a debt position. So you were pretty, the risk was mitigated. I don't want to say safe, or there's no guarantee of
Yes,
anything.
ma'am. Awesome. I appreciate that explanation. And, like I said, for us, we just try to make sure that people can understand the things that come very easy to
Absolutely.
us.
Right,
Um,
right. Yeah.
so I definitely appreciate that. Um, excuse me. If someone listening to us wanted to get involved into this, what would you suggest they do? Or maybe what tips would you give them?
To get involved with which aspect?
And to the using as example the debt and collateralization that you were just speaking of.
Well, if someone is wanting to get into passively investing in real estate, then well, my first thing would be, uh, you really should investigate and vet the person that you're going to be giving your money to, right? Um,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And a lot of times, people also align themselves with maybe what they know or what their passions are, because there's so many ways to make money in real estate. There's, the multifamily is what I think a lot of people know of. Single family rentals, obviously, you're just the landlord. But there's so many other things. There is the assisted living, which I think is kind of the wave of the future. The baby boomers are turning
Absolutely.
65 by the thousands a day,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So that's one of my favorite strategies as well. And assisted living, there's notes, there's self storage, there's mobile home parks. So there's a lot of different things. And sometimes people then can say, well, I really like that aspect and I want to be a part of that. But then you really look at and the who you're going to be investing with. So definitely do, your due diligence on who you're giving your money to, because when you're passive, right? You
Hmm.
don't
Yep.
have control. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I definitely express to people. And what I love most about investing in real estate is that you don't have control, but you do have that real asset structured properly, that if they don't perform, that's real. That's something you can get back and, like I said, repurpose and or get your money out of,
Exactly.
So for me, I do preach against the stock market personally. To me,
I used to be more, I used to a little bit more, but now I don't want to, have a,
yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that. And, from my avenue, it's kind of one of those things, as I tell people, you want to talk about giving your money to somebody and having no control, you know,
exactly. I do say that though, still I do.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so
So,
volatile, right. Yeah.
um, so Nika, maybe what's one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in your career?
Well, last year it was the election.
Okay.
No, people, it's, The challenge is, well, I've had a lot of different things that I've done in my life, but the challenge is really making the people feel comfortable and explaining. And I guess that's not really a challenge because I enjoy doing that. But just like even with the stock market, that goes up and down because of people's feelings, right? And because of
Yes, yes.
fear and their emotions. So,
Hmm.
it is no different when you're talking to people about investing in real estate and that aspect of it, because, it is emotional. So last year it was a lot of emotions flying around last year with the election.
A lot of money stopped moving last year, I can attest to, just because of
Exactly.
people wanting to know what's happening and what's going on. And yeah, it's been an interesting start to the year as well. So we shall see how this continues to go.
Yeah.
It sounds like things are going well for you and your business. A lot of our guests are looking towards the future, and we've kind of addressed this a little bit, and how they can create passive income to enhance or even replace their current active income. Could you explain to me, which probably fits right up your roadmap, what your thoughts are about this and maybe what you're doing personally?
Yes. So personally, for me, um, the social impact has, which I'm very excited about, the fact that now I'm getting to talk to people about passive investing and it moved towards a social impact, has been very exciting, that it's moving towards that. And then even in my own active work, I'm moving towards that with a social impact, which I'm pretty excited about as well. So I'm going to be I'm putting that together right now. We even have a couple of putting proposal together for a couple of houses for transitional housing. So we've been working with nonprofits that help kind of aged out foster kids, veterans, housing as well, which is nice that when we work with them, it's not just about the housing, that they also have the services. So, and there's a lot of other people that can be served, as well with the transitional housing. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's so many different people that they can be served with that. But those are the kind of the two right now that we have on our radar, and then it can be expanded into more than that, or even substance abuse as well. But that's not quite my lane. I do like the residential assisted living as well,
Mhm.
for the
Mhm.
seniors. So yeah, so that's kind of one of the things. And then I may ask to come back on. I've always kind of had a passion for sustainable development. Given my background in the design and construction, I've always been a part of that, and I know a lot about those types of materials and everything. So I've teamed up with a manufacturer of metal sips. So it can be, I'm in California, so the fires affected us pretty extensively recently. So I'm excited to kind of change the way that we build. With fire resistant, there's no wood at all. So there's no mold, there's no termites. So I'm kind of looking forward to that in the near future as well. I actually am signing the agreement this morning. So
I would love to discuss uh, I've never seen a metal sit before. I've seen them, with metal over the top of them, but not as the entire structure with no wood in them. So I'd definitely love to learn a little bit more about that myself as well. Um, excuse me. So I might have already answered this, but as we're wrapping up our interview, what exciting plans or initiatives do you have in the works in the next 6 to 12 months?
well, those two things I
Okay.
I don't think I can add any more than that right
Okay.
now.
Okay. Nope. We always like to just
Those are my
ask
two.
that and get that out there, and you kind of snuck ahead on me, but I want to make sure
Oh,
that we
I'm
get it
sorry. I
in the
thought
right
that was the
message.
question about
Yeah.
what we are planning for the future. Yes.
Yes. Um, well, yeah, the previous one was more personal. We always just like to, people when they meet other or hear from other successful people, they like to know what they're doing personally. I think I discussed this with you
Oh, I'm
earlier.
sorry.
The fruit on the
Yes,
tree. Yes.
I can tell you the personal part too. Yes, I guess we'll do
Okay.
this backwards, but funny. I just like to say this: when I first got into real estate investing and going to all of the meetings and whatnot, um, I noticed that it was like a lot of people kept talking about mindset and do this. So, and I was like, wow, that's really weird. I mean, I do that myself, but going to these with the real estate investing, that they were really incorporating it. So
Mhm.
I do a lot with that, and I want to talk about just that does make a difference. Really, you have to do something every day to keep your mind focused and
Yes.
positive attitude.
Yes.
And I might take it a little farther with some energy things,
Yep.
but yeah. So definitely put some positive in every day, with mindset, and
Mhm.
let go of the past.
Absolutely. No, that's one of the things of why we started this podcast, is to be able to focus on getting, the positive things out there and sharing with people. It's I get told all the time, you're lucky, and boy, or how easy, or whatever, and it's kind of like, I've earned this over quite a long amount of time in order to be in this position, and there was no luck involved, and I
Right.
definitely spent a ton of time investing in myself. And to take that your viewpoint in a little different angle, is I always look at, if I'm not growing, I'm dying. That's the way of nature.
Right.
So if you're
Yeah,
not improving upon, you're going backwards. So I can definitely appreciate that side of it as well. So
absolutely. I totally agree with that last statement.
absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time and for coming on today with us, Nika, and sharing some of your thoughts, insights, and tips. If people would like to connect with you, how would they do that?
So yes, they can go to my website, Replenish Financial Solutions. I do have a calendar there. You can always book a time to talk to me. My email is Nika at Replenish Financial Solutions. And then my phone number, 805-864-2585.
Awesome. We appreciate you sharing with us today, and sharing that information for people to be able to reach out to you. And we look forward to seeing where you're going in the future.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pathways to Prosperity podcast. Got a success story to share? Visit pathwaystoprosperitypodcast.com/guest and apply today.